everyone, welcome to Food Review UK Versus. My name is MJ and welcome to our massive, huge custard tart showdown. We are going to be battling every single custard tart I can find from the major players in UK food. First up we've got Tesco fresh egg custard tarts, 70p for two, that's what it looks like. So we've got a small amount of nutmeg distribution there, and the custard itself looks quite soft. So, pastry bake, golden underneath. Let's give it a go, guys. This is a really good one, guys. Very good. This is the kind of custard tart that I like. It's got a very soft custard in the middle there. If I poke it, you'll kind of see the texture we're dealing with. It's a bit firmer on top. The nutmeg taste does come through nicely. The pastry is nice and soft as well. I don't actually like a hard pastry on custard tart, but it's got a light bit of crisp, obviously, to contrast against the custard. I really rate this one. I give this a, pretty good 5 stars. Right, on to the next custard tart. Okay, so part 2 of this video is Sainsburys. Sainsburys are the next ones up to the plate. Talking about value, £1 for 4. Really good value. I would have got a 2-pack, but they didn't have it. So they look more like the kind of harder pastry, and as you can see there's a good smattering of nutmeg on there. Let's get into them. It's got a tear tab, this one. That's for all you ASMRers, I bet that was satisfying. By the way guys, do subscribe to our other channels. Life Michael Jamieson's a good one, vlog channel. Oh, and it's in 2 individual trays. See, 2 easy remove trays, right. Smell actually, although seeing a heavy dusting of nutmeg on there, I can't, it's not super strong, I can smell it, but, and yeah, immediately you can feel the texture. Of course, the trouble filming these videos across multiple days, obviously I'm not having 11 custard tarts in one day, is that I somewhat forget what the last one was like, but I can only rate it on its own merits anyway. That's fair anyway, isn't it? Pastry much harder. I'll do immediately, who remembers what the last one was like. Yeah, it's much harder. It's not hard and crispy, but it's a slightly firmer one. Chewy, not bad at all. And it's this area around the side where you notice that the most. It's quite hard and like thick to get through. So the pastry probably thicker on this one, I'd say. I reckon some people might prefer the pastry on this one, but I don't. Also, I'm interested to see the curvature there. It's not fully filled, and that's interesting to mention because the pastry ratio feels a bit more on this one. The custard tart, actually, although I couldn't smell the nutmeg all that greatly, it's quite strong on this, which I do really like. And the texture is quite set indeed. If I like push my finger in, you kind of get somewhat of an idea of the consistency. Not bad by any means, but I do recall preferring the Tesco one. Yeah, the custard itself doesn't have as much flavour, so the nutmeg is kind of the main gig there. Pastry is a little too thick. Still love custard tarts, but this one, I'd probably give it, it's between a low 4 and a high 3. I'm going to give it a very, very low 4. Right, now on to the next one. Co-op classic egg custard tarts. Luckily we've got a 2-pack because we don't want to be wasting money on 4-packs. Not this waste of money, you know, they do taste good and they will be eaten, but, you know. Right, what we got? This looks more like the Sainsburys ones rather than the Tesco one. That's what it looks like, so I would surmise that this is going to have a slightly harder pastry as well, but won't judge it before we eat it, although visuals does play its part. Right, here we go guys, Co-op. Immediately, harder pastry like the Sainsburys one. Pastry seems to be too thick around the edge. Again, very similar to the Sainsburys one. The pastry has a bit more of a floury taste as well. Doesn't taste so well cooked. And the custard is quite bland on this one actually. Not a huge amount of flavour coming through. The nutmeg is there, but really in the aftertaste. Consistency is fine. Pretty soft like the first one, the Tesco one. However, this is probably the worst one so far. The flavour is the thing that's letting it down. I can put up with a slightly firmer pastry on custard tart, but if the flavour's not there, not good this one. I'll probably give it low 3 stars. It's still alright, but yeah, not so great. Okay, it's ASDA next. We've got a 4-pack here. ASDA, these look like the most different so far actually. These look like the kind of one that have a kind of skin on top, which I don't usually like, but just one of those things, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, visually the most different so far. These black specks, I assume are nutmeg, and they are very thick specks, rather than on all the others. It's been a bit more thinly shaved. Nice smell, yeah, definitely smells more like a baked custard tart. Golden, yeah, it's a good smell. Right, let's try it out, guys. Now that is how you do a hard pastry custard tart. Unlike the Sainsburys and the Co-op, this is a firmer pastry, so different to the Tesco, which is a soft pastry. This is much firmer in a way more satisfying way. It's not just hard soft pastry, this is crispy pastry. It also has a much nicer golden taste to the pastry. This is the best tasting pastry so far. I do still prefer the softer one of the Tesco, but bodes well. The custard filling is a bit sweeter on this one, I think. Looks like there's quite a big dip on this one, which means the pastry to custard ratio is a little bit unbalanced. That's a shame actually. The custard itself does not have quite as much flavour, and those large specks of nutmeg don't seem to be doing too much in comparison to the finely grated nutmeg on the others. That's probably somewhere in the middle. Yeah, the custard flavour isn't very strong at all. Texture's fine, and the texture of the pastry is nice and the pastry tastes good. Probably give that one a very, 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 very high 3 stars. I think the Sainsburys is slightly better because of the flavour of the custard, and Tesco's better overall. So Tesco's still winning. Don't know how many more I will find, guys, but you'll know because this video is happening right now. On to the next one. Okay, we're now up to the Waitrose one. Waitrose 2-pack. Believe this was £1. Smells good, not a very strong nutmeg smell. This looks to be somewhere in the middle of the others actually. Obviously they're all very similar. There is a nice coating of nutmeg on this one, quite a heavy coating. The little patch here is just where it's actually hit the packaging. Giving it a little prod, you can kind of see it's quite soft. Okay, here we go. Slightly harder pastry, very sweet. The bottom half of the pastry is actually a bit softer. So this has got kind of a combination of hard and soft pastry. Yeah, this bit up here is crumbly and hard, and this bit down here is a bit like the other softer ones. It's quite a soft custard itself actually, really soft in the middle there. Flavour's quite light, but it's quite sweet, and the nutmeg flavour comes through really well on this one. I'll probably give this one a low 4 stars. Not bad. Right, we'll now move on to the last one. The last custard tart. Last but by no means least is Marks and Spencer's. This is the finale product. Should be the best, really, as well, shouldn't it? Should it be the best, guys? I don't know. You know, you've got your lower end supermarkets, your ASDA, your Sainsburys, you've got your kind of, I suppose Morrison's and Tesco are pretty much in that camp as well, really. They're all the lower end, and then you've got the upper end, which is of course Waitrose and Marks and Sparks. How would you rank them? Sounds like a good video idea to me. Right, these ones were some of the most expensive. I think they were £1.60 for 2. Smells good, smells very rich and buttery and creamy. Nutmeg flavour coming through a bit, not too strong. Pop it out of its casing, and what we got? We've got a nice golden pastry. Doesn't sound particularly hard. Let's give it a go, guys. Kind of one of the harder pastries on top. Nutmeg very nice and strong. Like I say, I prefer the softer ones, and that's not that bad for a hard one. It's got a nice crispness all the way down to the bottom as well, on the outside of the pastry, but the inside is a bit softer and a bit chewier. Custard flavour is really good on this. This is definitely the strongest one in terms of nutmeg, which is fantastic. Texture of the custard, softer in the middle, but still quite firm, quite jelly-like, which is pretty good, how I like it, really. This is really good. It probably is the best one, actually. The best thing about this one is like really strong nutmeg. Nutmeg is an underused ingredient. It's not in many things. Ask people what it's in and they'll say custard tarts and lasagna. And that's pretty much it. But it's superb. So this I really appreciate for being really strong with nutmeg. I'll probably give this one 5 stars. So this is definitely the winner, guys. Marks and Sparks, most expensive but also the best. Really tasty custard tart. How I like them for the most part, except I may just prefer my pastry to be a little bit softer. But personal preference. So this is right up there with the Tesco. This one and the Tesco are the best. This one's slightly more expensive and more nutmeggy. Tesco a little bit cheaper, well a lot cheaper actually. And nice, well, softer pastry. So there we have it, guys. Interesting that the first and last are the best ones. That's just how the custard crumbles. Thanks very much for watching our custard tart showdown. I hope this has given you some insight into the world of custard tarts. If it hasn't, then that is quite remarkable actually, because you've just watched probably 10 minutes plus of custard tart eating. So, questions to be raised there. Thank you very much for watching. We've got other channels. Movie Review UK is one of them. We review movies. Recently did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But we also do older films as well, like The Warriors. And of course we've got michaeljamiesoncomedy, which is hilarious, guys. You really should check it out. Thanks again for watching and subscribe for more videos.